Let's go. I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about. Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go. Let's go. Nothing's gonna stop us today. Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on. So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn, good whatever, wherever you find yourself. Welcome to another episode. Actually, the first in 2022. Welcome. I'm yours truly, Savala Dran. You welcoming you to a new year, a brand new season of the IoT show, IoT Tuesday show. If this is your first time, thank you for joining us. We do this every Tuesday just to demystify, learn, break, hack, crazy things on IoT, everything IoT and AI. As I mentioned in the last episode and last year, we are including AI in the IoT mix. So it's actually AIoT, demystifying AIoT. We're simply put, we're demystifying IoT and AI. Well, if this is your first time, thank you for joining. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel as we're trying to grow it. Make sure to send your feedback, comment, wherever you're watching it, from LinkedIn, from Twitter, from Twitch, from YouTube. We're here to help you answer questions. If I don't, I would also escalate it to my higher ups. Greetings to all of you joining. Especially, I want to give a special shout out to Emmanuel, all the way from Kenya. I know it's 11 p.m. in Kenya, and he's still up, waiting. He was waiting, for today's episode. So, Emmanuel, thank you so much for being a great fan. Thank you. I appreciate that. Spread the word, ask your friends to join so we can have fun. Well, enough of my talking and crapping. So, before we went on the break last year, we started working on the Corel Dev Board. So today we're going to do part 2 of it, setting up, the tools that are needed and potentially trying to deploy a sample or demo application onto the platform. So that is what we'll be doing in today's episode. So before we get that, let's go for the intro. Welcome back to the show. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for making a time, date, whatever we call it. Thank you for making it with me on the IoT Tuesday show. In today's episode, we're going to continue from where we left off in setting up the Corel Dev Board. Before then, like I always do, I want to probably, I always want to put a few things out there, more of information, some tips and tricks, or some things I think you should be mindful of if you're in the IoT space. So let's go to it and take a look at that. The first one I want to bring up here is the Arduino IDE 2.0. Now, 2.0 has been in the works for a while now, and the beta is, I think, existing and beta becoming ready for release. So if you're interested in exploring it, I have tried it out. Has a Visual Studio Code appeal and look. I think it's built on Atom. Pretty sleek, interesting code, debugging features, breakpoint, awesome stuff. I love it. I'm just waiting for it to to come out of beta, which has actually happened now. So you can actually go and download it and install it. If you're crazy about IoT and you want to still do the Arduino kind of like IDs kind of things, you can use the Arduino IDE 2.0. Gives you the same Visual Studio Code up here. Now, talk of IDs, I want to talk about the next stuff, which is kind of like a platform or framework called the Platform IO. Now, it's one of the common use frameworks or platforms for building embedded systems. There are integrations into Visual Studio IDE already, so you could actually go to Visual Studio Code and then look for Platform IO. Has tons and tons of great stuff. Has got samples, has got IntelliSense for coding and collaboration, a lot of interesting things. So those will be my two things for you to check out. Platformio.org. I'll try to put that. I'll share that link as well. So platformio.org. I'll share it in a bit, so you can go check that out. Check that out. Let's see. Let's put this here, so we can bring this, so we can share that with you guys. Yeah. So go check that out. Add it to your toolkit. All right. We've talked about the Arduino IDE as well. Go check that out. It's out of beta. It's now, ready to be used. So go check that out. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is some exciting news that came last year, late last year, which was the Arduino library for IoT. So Azure released a bunch of C SDKs, C SDK for C library, mainly used for Arduino. Now, a bit of kind of like note there. The fact that it's C library for Arduino doesn't necessarily mean that you can go pick your old Arduinos. Like let's see which one I have here. Yeah, like your very old Arduinos and run it. No, it has to be an Expressive Ape or ESP compatible Arduino board, and then you can use a C library. Now, what does this mean? Now, this means that now you can directly, get your board to communicate with Azure IoT. And after our Corel Dev Board series, that'll be the next thing we're going to do. We're going to walk through setting up an ESP enabled or compatible board with a Azure IoT SDK, and we're going to use that to set up some ESP32, ESP286 boards and connect to Azure IoT. Obviously, just like we do all the time. So, if this sounds like something that's of interest to you, stick and stay with the channel. Make sure you subscribe, and then we can share more of this content with you. So it'll be the next set of series we'll do. But like I mentioned, I'm trying so hard to make this to make the show very interactive and very educative. So if you feel there is something you want us to touch on, just ping me, send me a message on any of my social media handles, and I will try to address that. One of the things that we identified last year was the fact that we want to make IoT easy, understandable for a lot of people. So there's going to be a lot of focus on getting started, beginner stuff, putting things together. We're talking about some simulators, especially for those that don't have access to IoT devices. So that's also going to happen. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick and stay and subscribe, and then we're going to get into it. So let me throw in the URLs. So this is for platform.io. So go check that out. And then also if you're interested in the how do you call that? Okay, so if you're interested in the Arduino C library, I mean, it's okay if you want to get a head start. For us, that's also the URL on your screens or wherever you're watching from right now. So yeah, take note of that. Awesome. So let's get back to our topic. Let's bring this back here for us to see. So we started working with the Corel Dev Board, right? And in the very last episode for this, we went ahead to set it up. I think I showed in a video, how to change the dip switches, to change the boot mode, to we actually created an image on a SD card and inserted into it. If you missed that episode, don't worry, it's not missed. And all the videos or all the live streams after here go to my YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe right here. Yeah. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and you can see all the videos. So anytime I go live, after the live, the videos are available for you to download. So you can go check them out there. So make sure you're doing that. And then yeah, let's have some fun. So, and don't forget, if you have any suggestions and questions as we chat, as we having a session, you can drop them here. Because my setup is able to, give me all the chat and stuff or questions you have. So yeah. Awesome. And let me know if the sound is okay. You're having a good experience. We're here to serve you, make it better. So let's make it happen. Well, enough of a talk. Let's just get into it. So now, before that, let's just go to the bench so I show you something. So currently, we've got the board set up here. So you can see the board set up. This is the power. We're getting 5 volts from here. And then this one is technically the connectivity from the board to my computer, right? And then what you're seeing here is just an HDMI cable. Now, HDMI in the sense that after you set up or you install or run the image, now this is what happens. Now, what you're seeing now is just what's coming from the dev board. This is it. That's kind of like, that's the UI that is pretty much showing it. Now, someone might ask, well, there's nothing there. Well, technically, yes, because it was designed for us to interact with it via, SSH or terminal or something, because it's much easier for us to do that. So you won't see there isn't any graphics, for you, UI thing for you to see. Most of the interactions we're going to be doing today are going to happen in the command prompt. So the interactions are going to happen in my terminal, this terminal. You're going to see a lot of interaction happening on my terminal here. And I'll try as much as possible to give you a glimpse of what's happening. If there's anything that's supposed to happen to the board, I'll show you. But this is the reference we're using. So I'm putting this up here. So we're using the getting started documentation guide for the dev board. So yeah, so that's the URL there. You can check that out. I mean, if you want to follow along, if you have the board or you want to follow along, yeah, that's what you want to do. So let's just get that out of the way. All right, cool. So let's go look at where we left off. At least so, to this point, this is where we are to the point. We've installed MDT. Let me make this a little bigger right here. Yeah, there you go. So MDT is a command line tool that allows you to actually interact with the dev board. It requires Python 3. So if you're doing the setup, if you're following from the previous video, we did this. We tried to do this as well whilst we're waiting for the image to build. So we've installed MDT. So quite simple processes there. We've connected the board as shown, as you can see now. So if I bring my console up, right, and then we go ahead, let me move this out of the way so it doesn't interfere with our session. So if I do MDT devices, now you realize that it's going to show the connected device and the IP address of it. Don't worry, this is on a different network. So it's by default calling our dev kit Mocha kit, right? And then showing the IP address as well, right? Let me make a note of that IP address here. 92.168. Let's do 101.2. So that's the IP address of it. All right. So we have that sorted out. So now we've got to the point where we are sure that our device has been properly set up. We can see it. Now we can also run let's do this MDT shell. I hope I remember the password I used. I don't think I put in any password, but let's see this. So there you go. You don't have a private key. Yeah, we don't have that. That's fine. So now MDT shell has opened a direct shell to the dev board. All right. So the MDT utility gives us some, accessibility to the platform. So now running MDT shell allows us to technically kind of like uh have a shell session or terminal session, all right, um to the device. Now, the next thing we want to do, right, is to connect the device to the internet, right now it's just local, there's nothing happening to it. So the next thing for us to do is to connect it to the internet. And then after we connect it to the internet, we would download updates, because since we've had the board, we've not done any major updates to it. There would be updates that have happened. So connect it to the internet, and then we would have to do that. So let's do this. So once within, and you need to make sure you're in a device shell for this. So once within the device shell, let's do nmt UI. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We'll leave it to that. Okay. So I'm gonna let me share. So let's do this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to bring a text editor here. Let's do a new one. Let me bring a new window here, and then I'll paste. And then I'll paste this here. All right. Now, so this is what we will do. All right. This is a command we're going to run in a device shell, which is MDT shell. We're going to run nmcli dev and then Wi-Fi connect, the name of the Wi-Fi network, the password. All right. The password of that Wi-Fi, and then I have, the name, and then the LAN. Pretty much is by default LAN 0. Okay, wireless LAN 0. So for the sakes of hiding my password, my network password, I'm going to do this offline. So I'm just going to bring this here, and then I'll just do this quickly here. So yeah, so let's do this. And so let's do this here. NMCL dev Wi-Fi connect. Now I'm torn between connecting it to my to the current Wi-Fi. Ideally, ideally it is going to how do you call it? Ideally, it's if I connect it to this network. Okay. Let's see. If I did this, if I connected this to the same network, I'm afraid it might potentially, probably have some effect on my stream, because it will use the same. It's going to use the same internet. So let's see. What if I connect it to a different? Let's do this. Sorry, I do all these crazy things when I'm like thinking and doing stuff. Forgive me for that. Anyway, so I think I'll try that. It shouldn't take so much bandwidth, but else I can also connect it to a secondary internet connectivity. Because I have the USB cable, it's not a problem. I can always use MDT to communicate and do stuff with it. All right. But to give it the internet connection, take it to the internet, we're going to use that. So let me go ahead and do this. And then I'll share the link after I have done it with you. I'll just open a new terminal so we can do that. So nmcl CLI. So there you go. So let's do nmcli dev Wi-Fi connect, and then a Wi-Fi name. So in my case, I won't tell you the name, and I'll share the password. I won't tell you the password. I won't share it with you, and then we'll set this 0, and then we wait for it to connect. Yeah, so device successfully activated with that and connected to it. So if we want to verify, okay, I I don't have I don't okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Don't worry. Let's do this. Let's see if I'm going to open it. I'm going to open. So this is what I'm going to do. I mean, yeah, I don't like it if I'm if it feels like, oh, Sam, you're hiding stuff for us. No, I'm not hiding it for you. So MDT. Let's do MDT shell. All right, and then we can we can get to the shell again, and then this time when I do N, all right, MCLI, and I do connection, and then show. So now it's connected by this. All right. So pretty much, yeah. So let's quickly take this off. Yeah, connection. Nah. All right. So yeah, you might probably see, but then we are connected. All right. We are connected to the Wi-Fi. Now, the next thing we needed to do. So step one, we what did we do in step one? We made sure the images is running, MD2 was installed, we connected to the internet. Now, the next thing we want to do is update the software. Now, if you were following from the beginning, you would learn that the dev board is running Mendel Linux. It's a version of Linux, Mendel Linux. All right, that's what's running. So we need to now update it, updates the OS version and stuff like that. All right, so let's do that. I'm going to do the shell again, and yeah, for the 6, I can always get rid of this. So yeah. All right, let's see this, and let me know if you can see clearly if there's anything. So let's do this as an admin, as a privileged user. If you're familiar with Linux, you know this by heart. There you go. We are doing the package update, and that's happening. Welcome if you're just joining us. This is the AIoT Tuesday show where we demystify and learn and have fun and share knowledge on AI and IoT. This and every Tuesday happening live from 8 p.m. GMT in your respective time zones. Today we're doing part 2 of the Corel Dev Board. This particular dev board. You can see that. Emmanuel, can you see it now? What can you see? You should see the dev kit on the bench, on the workbench, right? Yeah, I'm just trying to get confirmation from Emmanuel, who is watching us from LinkedIn. And thank you so much, LinkedIn, officially giving me the creator access to do that. It should be in. Let's see. If Ima, you can confirm that you can actually see us, you can watch us from LinkedIn. Yeah. So I believe that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing the workbench on that now. So earlier on, what I was saying was so I'm just switching to my face. So earlier what I was saying was that I didn't want to let it seem like I was hiding stuff from you, and I can understand if you're having so I'm just checking from LinkedIn, and maybe it's a connectivity thing. Oh, like you can see now. Okay, awesome. Yeah, maybe it's a connectivity thing. Apologies, but just to let you all know, the stream is a multi-stream, so it's going live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Twitch. All these 5 channels. So if you're having challenges with one platform, please kindly switch to another platform. But after the event, after the live stream, it's going to be available on YouTube on demand for you to watch any number of times you want. So Emmanuel, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Thank you for that update. Unfortunately, I can't respond to you like by messaging via LinkedIn. So yeah. So we are back to our terminal, right? So the update is that the first stuff is done. Let's run the second one. So sudo, let me bring this up a bit so you can see it. So let's do the sudo apt get And this time we're doing the this upgrade. Yep. So let's do that. And now, so the purpose of us doing this is we're trying to make sure um, the version of the OS we're running is up to date. Because once this is done, we are on the what we are doing now is that we're going to the next step that allows us to now run, TensorFlow Lite on the Edge TPU on the Corel Dev Board, right? And if you remember, I made mention that this dev board allow us to run TensorFlow Lite, and we're going to be seeing a lot of AI, more like AI stuff on the show this year, like TensorFlow Lite, running it on Azure Percept. Yes, and after the Azure C library thing, I'm going to go back to the Azure Percept to do a whole brand new episode of it, setting it up again and all that. We're going to have that experience. So not to worry, a lot of fun AI stuff. So if you have any AI project, any AI, suggestions or things you want us to any project you want us to create in the process of learning AI and IoT, just hit me up and then we can use any of the dev kits and tools I have here to build that on the show so we all can learn. Yeah. So now that is done, so we would need, now we want to run a demo, right? There is actually a demo that preloads with the image. So let's try that. Let's see. So now, let's do this. We have the Edge TP. There you go. We have the Edge TPU demo, and then we'll do a stream. Now, this is a pre-built demo that's already in it. All right. So it's not that I have created anything, but pretty much this was something that came with it. So now with this, to be able to see the stream of what's happening, we need to, so this, I'm actually going to put this to the side here. All right. So we can see side by side this. So this is the terminal and this is the browser that we are going to check something. So with that running, we are going to do 192.168, which is local to the device, 100 .2. Hold on, let's see. And then let's do 4664. I don't think this is going to work. This is why, because our port is our IP is different. It's 101. If you remember when we did the devices, it was 101. So I'm going to open another browser, and then I'm going to do the 101 here. So this one, there you go. I told you. Yep. So what you're seeing here is a demo that is running from on the dev board. All right. So this is technically just, we've not connected any camera to it, but it's a pre-built demo running via SSD on the HTTP. Now, so what's happening is that there's a video that has been added, and there's a already trained model that is identifying cars as the video is running. So the next test for us, or the next assessment for us, would be, okay, connecting a camera to this to the dev board, and then probably putting it somewhere where either cars or staff are passing to see what's being recognized. All right. So so if you can look at, let's just go in and see the definition for this. So it says the video below here demonstrates the real-time processing power of the HTTP by running a mobile net SSD model. So this is running currently on this small device. If for those of you who have not seen it, this device, this Corel Dev Board, this is what's running this module at the moment, right? So the footage of a car is recorded, but the mobile net model is executing in real time on your Corel Dev Board to detect each car indicated by the box. So limited to 20 detected cars. So in the terminal where you started the demo, press N key to switch between running the model in that edge TPO. Yeah, so currently let's see where we're running. Let's go to the terminal and see what mode we are in. So let me make this a little bigger. So as you can see, it's running that. So yeah, if you press N, we're going to switch between the models. So the currently 2 modules here. All right. So the first one is running the edge TPU. And if we switch it, it's going to go to the CPU, which is quad core Cortex A53 running on it. So well, let's just try that. So I'm just going to do press an N. Let's make sure we are in this. In that contest, let's see. Yep, I'm seeing it. Awesome, Emmanuel. Yeah, so it looks like this worked for you much better. I think YouTube worked for you much better. So yeah, maybe let's stick to YouTube. Awesome. Thanks for that. So I just switched the module. So now it's using CPU quad core. That's what's happening now, right? Inference, running model, HTTP. Oh no, hold on. It's not changed. If it changed, yeah, there you go. Yeah. So you okay, so watch this carefully. You see this side. Let running mobile net SSD V1 on CPU. Now, do you see the change? You realize that for CPU, the detection is quite slow, right? I don't think I switched it. Sorry about that. I had played back to check something. Oh, okay, awesome. That's fine. Yeah, so you realize that now we're running, if you look at the top here where it has running mobile net SSD V1 on CPU. If you look at the CPU detection, it is quite slow, right? It's quite slow. So all I have to do here, let me bring this in view, is technically change, just hit N. And that switches it from, now look at that. Do you see that? Do you see that now we are running on Edge TPU? And Edge TPU is much, much faster compared to the CPU. All right. So that's it. We've been able to set up our Corel Dev Board. All right. And then run it. Now, it says that if we want to see something huge, let's try this. You should see the video playing in your browser, the footage of the car. Yeah, that's what we're seeing that. Okay, let's do this. Let's try this. So remember, I said that I have set up a screen for this. So what you're seeing now is the connection, the HDMI output of the device. So let's do this. I'm going to change the command prompt. I'm going to change the command. All right. We're going to change the command here. Let's do this. Let's go ahead. Yep. And let's do that. Let me move this here so that we can. Okay, let me move this here so we can change. We can change that. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. All right. So what we've done now is we've changed. I've just moved away from, we've just stopped it from running. But now let's do this. So let's do Edge TPU and demo. And then this time, let's do device, right? Now, what this means is that now it's not going to go into the browser. I'm going to switch to this. Check that out. Now you are seeing it in view, full view. So this is running on Edge TPU currently. And if I press the N for November, it's going to change to CPU. Now, you see how CPU is slow. Again, back to that, same thing. And then if we kick again, we are back to TPU. Now look at HTPU. HTPU is much, much faster. All right. So we've been able to do that. Now, there is another demo which says let's see. So there's a demo that uses PyCoral. It's just PyCoral API. It's just a simple demo that demonstrates how to perform an inference on an HTPU. So inference using TensorFlow API, right? So to do that, we're gonna do a little pum 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 pum. We would have to. Okay, let's do this. Let's stop this. All right, that's stopped. So let's come back here and let's do this. So I'm going to on this. Let's do a new folder and call this Corel. And then let's change to that folder. And then now let's clone this sample. Let's see. There we go. We're cloning it into PyCoral. Awesome. Let's see. Let's do this. So now that we've cloned it, just a sec. Let's see. So now that we've cloned it, we're gonna run it, right? Just like you do with any you clone stuff from GitHub, and then you make use of it. Sorry about that. I also try to respond to the messages that come in. So yeah. Let's see. So let's do this. Okay. All right. Yep. So let's do this. So we have this here. Let's change directories to PyCoral. Hold on. What? Oh, it's PyCoral. Why do I keep? I hope I created. Okay, let's do this. PyCoral. Okay, we're in the folder, and then let's do this. Okay, let's download all the modules and the sample photograph we'll use. We are in there. So we're just allowing that to finish up. Okay. There we go. So that's downloading. We're just waiting for that to happen. Yeah, this is where we put some fun music in the background whilst we wait for stuff and goof around. Anyways, for sakes of copyright, I'm quite cautious on what I put under the videos, else I'm just going to be hit by copyright claims. So yeah, I'll just go find some of those free non copyright stuff, and then make use of that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Download, received. Let's see. And then once that is done, we're going to run a simple command that would run the image classification module, right? And then it would pass an image of a parrot to it. Actually, let's see. Let's see if we can save this image. And let me see if I can save the image and share the image to you. So let's bring this down. So this is what we're doing is just is running an image classification module on the edge TPU, and then the GitHub project to be cloned also included this picture of a parrot. All right, so when we run it, it should tell us, hey, this is a parrot, right? Now, Afiz, what type of camera can someone use to implement this? Well, technically, even you can use a webcam. You know, any camera that technically can stream frames to the AI to the system. You know, it could be a USB. Like if we go back to the bench and I show you this, you see that there are a couple of there's a USB port. So any camera that can connect via USB or any other. There's also the how do you call it, the Raspberry Pi type of cameras that can work. So even USBs, webcams can work. I mean, nothing fancy, nothing, you know, crazy. Trust me. Yeah, anything that can stream frames clean enough for it, you know, will suffice. Will do the work. So don't stress yourself, right? Don't stress yourself in trying to get, you know, something exotic that, you know, would yeah. All right. Mm, mm, mm. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. So with this done, now let's go ahead. This is quite long, but first of all, let me just show you. Let's do this. So I'm gonna show you the code, or the not it's not code, it's just a command or script to run. All right. So you're gonna run Python 3 examples within the folder of the project we downloaded. All right. So you're running Python 3 examples classified by, and then the model. So this is the model, right? Test data, mobile net, breadcrumbs. This is it. It's a TensorFlow Lite project. And the labels are, you know, it's just bed labels. That's why the labels are for, you know, for the train, what was for do the training. And then this is the input. We are passing this test data power. That's what we're passing, right? That's what we're using. We're passing for it to see if it can classify this. So this is what we got to run. So I'm going to copy this and let's bring this here. Paste anyways. There you go. Oh, no. This is not gonna. Okay, yeah, it did. All right, there you go. So you can see that the first inference on is slow because it includes loading. It's just telling you if you did this again, it will be faster. So if sorry, this doesn't do that for us. So you look at that and result 75% is a scarlet macaw. All right, let's go check this out. So where is Professor Google? And remember, this is the bed. This is the bed that we used, right? So this is it. It looks very fancy, all right? Let's see if we can. Let's see if Google can help us determine if this is really a scarlet. And no, you know, let's just make this bigger. And then let's see. Scarlet. Okay. Oh, this is a scarlet chested parrot. But no, but this is the macaw parrot. Let's see this. Yeah, that's interesting. Yes, it's the same breed. So that's yeah. So as you can see, the inference, you know, worked. The next thing we would want to, you know, try is if, you know, we'll connect a camera to it. All right. The next will be to connect a camera to it, and then use the camera to either show videos, or you could connect it to a system where it takes a picture of stuff and then does the inference. So it could be uploading pictures of different types of parrots, and then it does a classification on it. All right. Now, the key thing I want to take away from is that all this is happening on this tiny board. All right. All this is happening on this tiny board. Now, so with that said, that is what time will permit us for today. We've been able to set it up. Now you've seen running it. The next thing which we'll probably do before we move on to some another series, will be seeing if we can get a camera connected to it and running another AI model to do some detection, or try to write our own AI model, to detect something, maybe devices or stuff like that. That would be probably the next logical thing to do. But hey, if you found this interesting enough and you feel that this has some use for you in future project, or even just testing and learning out, feel free to reach out to me. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, share this video, ask friends to join the channel, suggest projects we can work on. It doesn't matter where you are. I mean, Emmanuel is all the way in Kenya, but shows great interest. We're trying to collaborate on some stuff as well. So connect with me, link up, let's have fun, let's learn, and like I always say, let's make the world a better place through technology. With that, I'm yours truly, Samuel Adjani, and I am out.